Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to start chapter 9 Soil. Soil is one of the most important natural resources. It provides anchorage to the plants and supplies water and nutrients. So soil is very important natural resource and it provides support and anchorage to plants and support them with water and nutrients. It is the home for many organisms. So in the soil many small organisms lives. Soil is essential for agriculture. So for agriculture also soil is the most important part. Agriculture provides food, clothing and shelter for all. Soil is thus an inseparable part of our life. The earthly fragrance of soil after the first rain is always refreshing. So when first rain drops, the fragrance of the soil is very pleasing to us. So we can see here children are playing with soil. 9.1 Soil teeming with life. One day during the rainy season, Paheli and Bojo observed an earthworm coming out of the soil. Paheli wondered whether there were other organisms also in the soil. Let us find out. So in activity 9.1, collect some soil samples and observe them carefully. You can use a hand lens, examine each sample carefully and fill in table 9.1. Discuss your observation with your friend. Are the soil samples collected by your friend similar to the ones collected by you? Bojo and Paheli have used soil in many ways. They enjoy playing with it. It is a great fun indeed. Make a list of the uses of soil. So you can collect your sample of soil and your friend can also collect, and you can see whether the sample collected by you is the same as the sample collected by your friend. So these are the sources of soil: garden soil, soil for the roadside, soil for the area where construction is going on. So these are all different kinds of soil. Plants, there are grasses, there are weeds and other similar small plants, and animals like ants, earthworms, and other small insects are also there like caterpillar, and you can find all these animals in the soil. Any other observation you find, you can write it here in the table 9.1. I wonder why I find some pieces of plastic articles and polythene bags in the soil sample collected from the roadside and the garden. So there are polythene bags and other plastic articles because the plastic articles does not degrade very fast. They take a very long time. That is why they stay in the soil for a long time. So there are some pieces of the polythene bags in the soil sample. Polythene bags and plastics pollute the soil. They also kill the organisms living in the soil. That is why there is a demand of ban to polythene bags and plastics. Other substances which pollute the soil are a number of waste products, chemicals and pesticides. So chemical and pesticides also degrade the soil. Waste products and chemicals should be treated before they are released into the soil. So they are treated first and then they are released by the factories and industries. The use of pesticides should be minimized. So the pesticide must be used in the minimum. I have seen pots and toys made of the soil in Haat Bazaar. So soil, with the help of soil, you can make handmade pots and toys. 9.2 Soil profile. Soil is composed of distinct layers. Perform the following activity to find out how these layers are arranged. Activity 9.2. Take a little soil. Break the clumps with your hand to powder it. Now take a glass tumbler, 3/4 filled with water. So take a glass tumbler and fill it with 3/4 with water. Then add a handful of soil in it. Stir it well with a stick to dissolve the soil. Now let it stand undisturbed for some time. Afterwards, observe it and answer the following question. So you can see here the gravel is been settled down, and there is sand, there is clay, there is water and there is humus. All the materials are like deposited according to their weights. So you can see these are the layers of soil. Do you see a layer of particles? Do you see layers of particles of different sizes in the glass tumbler? Draw a diagram showing these layers. Are there some dead rotting leaves or animals remains floating on the water? So the dead animals will come to the surface of the water. The rotting dead matter in the soil is called humus. So humus is the rotting dead matters found in the soil. You probably know that the soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks by the process by the action of wind. So when the rocks are break down by the action of wind, soil is produced. Thus, this process is called weathering. The nature of any soil depends upon the rock from which it has been formed and the type of vegetation that grows in it. A vertical section through different layers of the soil is called the soil profile. So the vertical section you have seen, that is called the soil profile. Each layer differ in feel, texture, color, depth and chemical composition. These layers are referred as the horizons. In the figure 9.3 you can see these are the bedrock in the soil profile. This is horizon, this is B horizon, this is A horizon, and there are plants. So these are the layers. We usually see the top surface of the soil, not the layer below it. So because we only see the top layer of the soil, if we look at the sides of the recently dug ditch, we can see the inner layers of the soil too. Such a view enables us to observe the soil profile at that place. Soil profile can also be seen while digging a well or laying the foundation of a building. So you can see the soil profile when we dig while laying the foundation of the building, or when we dig a well, you can see the soil profile. It can also be seen in the sides of the road, on a hill, or at a steep river bank. You can also see it while you are crossing from the roads on the side of the hill and on the steep river bank. The uppermost horizon is generally dark in color as it is rich in humus and minerals. So it is dark because of the humus and minerals. The humus makes the soil fertile and provide nutrient to the growing plant. So it makes the soil fertile and provides nutrients to the growing plants. This layer is generally soft, porous and can retain more water. Because it is soft and porous, they can retain more water. It is called the topsoil or A horizon. So you can see the A horizon in the figure 9.3. This provides shelter for many living organisms such as worms, rodents, moles and beetles. So these are the shelter for many living organisms like worms, rodents, moles and beetles. The roots of small plants are embedded entirely in the topsoil. So the small plants have their roots in the topsoil. The next layer has a lesser amount of humus but more in minerals. So the B horizon is more of the minerals. This layer is generally harder and more compact and is called the B horizon or the middle layer. The third layer is the C horizon, which is made up of small lumps of rocks with cracks and crevices. So you can see it in the soil profile figure. Below the layer is the bedrock. So below the horizon C, there is bedrock which is hard and difficult to dig with a spade. So it is very hard. 9.3 soil types. As you know, weathering of rocks produces small amount of various materials. These include sand and clay. The relative amount of sand and clay depend upon the rock from which the particles were formed. So when weathering process is going on, small particles are made. This includes the sand and clay. It entirely depend upon the rock from which these particles are formed. The mixture of rock particles and humus is called the soil. So the rock particles and the humus is called the soil. Living organisms such as bacteria, plant roots and earthworms are also important part of any soil. So these bacteria, plant roots and earthworms are very important part of the soil. The soil is classified on the basis of the proportion of particle of various sizes. If soil contains greater proportion of big particles, it is called sandy soil. So when there is big particles in the soil, it is called sandy soil. If the proportion of fine particles are relatively higher, then it is called clayey soil. If the amount of large and fine particle is about the same, then the soil is called loamy soil. Thus the soil can be classified as sandy, clayey and loamy soil. The size of the particle is in a soil has an influence on its properties. So the size of the particle influences the property of the soil. Sand particles are quite large. They cannot fit close together. Because they are large, they cannot be fit close together. So there is a large space between them. These spaces are filled with air. We can say that the sand is very aerated because there is too much space between them and air in it. Water can drain quickly through these spaces between the sand particles. So there are spaces, so the water will drain quickly. So sandy soils tend to be light, well aerated and rather dry. Clay particles being much smaller packed tightly together. So clay particles are smaller, so they pack tightly together, leaving little space for air. Unlikely, like sandy soil, water can held in the tiny gaps between the particles of the clay. So clay soils have less air, but they are heavy as they hold more water than the sandy soil. The best topsoil for growing plants is loam. So the best topsoil for growing plants are loam, the mixture of these two. Loamy soil is a mixture of sand, clay and another type of soil particles known as slate. Slate occurs as a deposit in riverbed. So slate is the deposit in riverbeds. You have seen that the size of the slate particles is between those of sand and the clay. The loamy soil also has humus in it. So loamy soil has humus in it, which are best for the small plants. It has the right water holding capacity for the growth of the plant. I want to know what kind of soil should be used for making earthen pots, matka and surahis. So what are the soil which is used for earthen pots and like we make toys, etc. Activity 9.3, collect sample of clay, loamy and sandy soils. Take a fistful of soil from each of the sample. Remove any pebble, rock or glass blades from it. Now add water drop by drop and knead the soil. In figure 9.4a, you can see that add just enough water so that a ball like in figure 9.4b can be made of it. But at the same time, it should not be sticky. It should not be sticky. Try to make a ball like in figure 9.4c from the soil on a flat surface. Roll the ball into cylinder like in 9.4d. Try to make a ring from the cylinder in figure 4.9e. Repeat this activity with other samples also. Does the extent to which a soil can be shaped indicates its type. So in the figure we will see that. Can you suggest which type of soil would be the best for making pots and toys and statues? So here the example is given. The sand is taken and you see a cylinder is made and a ring is made like this. So we'll move further. Properties of soil. 9.4 properties of soil. Here listed some uses of soil. Let us perform some activities to find the characteristics of the soil. Percolation rate of water in soil. Bojo and Paheli mark two different squares of 50 into 50 centimeter each on the floor of their house and the other on the Kucha unpaved road. They filled two bottles of the same size with water. They emptied the water from the bottles on each at the same time in the two square. They observed that the water on the floor flowed down and was not absorbed. On the Kacha road, on the other hand, the water was absorbed. Now let us perform the activity to understand this. So you have got the idea what they have done. Bojo wondered why there was a difference in the absorption rate of water in the two squares. So activity 9.4. For this activity, divide yourself into three teams. Name the team as A, B and C. You will be finding out how fast the water passes down the soil. You will need a hollow cylinder or a pipe. Ensure that each team uses pipe of the same diameter. Some suggestions for obtaining such a pipe are given below. If possible, get a small tin can and cut off its bottom. So take a small tin can and cut off its bottom. If PVC pipe approx diameter 5 cm is available, cut it into 20 cm long pieces and use them. So you can use PVC pipe also. At the place where you collect the soil, place the pipe about 2 cm deep in the ground. You have to put the pipe 2 cm deep. Pour 200 ml water in the pipe slowly. For measuring 200 ml water, you can use any empty 200 ml bottle. Note the time when you start pouring water. When all the water has percolated, In the 9.5, the measure rate of percolation, you are doing this. Leaving the pipe empty. Note the time again. Be careful not to let the water spill over or run down on the outside of the pipe while pouring. Calculate the rate of percolation by using the following formula. Percolation rate in ml per minute is equal to amount of water in ml upon percolation time in minute. For example, suppose that for a certain sample it took 20 minutes for 200 ml to percolate. So rate of percolation will be 200 ml upon 20 minutes is equal to 10 ml per minute. So the rate of percolation is 10 ml per minute for this example. Calculate the rate of percolation in your soil sample. Compare your finding with others and arrange the soil sample in the increasing order of the rate of percolation. 9.5 Moisture in soil. Have you ever passed through a farmland during a hot summer day? Perhaps you notice that the air above the land is shimmering. Why is it so? Try out this activity and find the answer. Activity 9.5. Take a boiling tube, put 2 teaspoons full of a soil sample in it. Heat it on a flame as in fire 9.6 and observe it. Let us find out what happens upon heating. Do you see water drops anywhere? If yes, where did you find them? On heating, water of the soil evaporates, moves up and condenses on the cooler inner walls of the uppermost part of the boiling tube. So the water gets evaporated and collected in the side of the boiling tube. On a hot summer day, the vapor coming out of the soil reflect the sunlight. So you can see the example here, and the air above the soil seems to shimmer. So that's why it appears as shimmering. So you can see here the example is given in the figure. So when you put the soil sample in it and you boil it, so the drops will be collected in the sides of the boiling tube. After heating the soil, take it out of the tube. Compare it with the soil which is not been heated. Note the difference between the two. So you can note the difference between the two soils samples. 9.6 Absorption of water by soil. Do all the soil absorb water the same extent? Let us find out. Activity 9.6. Take a plastic funnel. Take a filter paper or a piece of newspaper sheet. Fold and place it as shown in the figure 9.7. Weigh 50 gram of dry powdered soil and pour it into the funnel. Measure a certain amount of water in a measuring cylinder and pour it down drop by drop on the soil. You can use a dropper for this purpose. Do not let all the water fall on one spot. Pour water all over the soil. Keep pouring water till it starts dripping. So you can do it like this. So here is the example. They have given a dropper is there, filter paper is there, funnel and a beaker in the lower side. Absorption of water can be, we can see the absorption of water in how much water is coming. Subtract the amount of water left in the measuring cylinder from the amount you started with. This is the amount of water retained by the soil. Record your result in your notebook in the following manner. The weight of the soil was 50 gram. Initial volume of water in the measuring cylinder is equal to U ml. Final volume of the water in the measuring cylinder is V ml. So the volume absorbed by soil is U minus V. Initial minus the final volume V ml. Weight of the water absorbed by the soil is U minus V gram. 1 ml of water has weight equal to 1 gram. So 1 ml is equal to 1 gram. So here is a note. Gram and kilogram are actually unit of mass. A mass of 1 gram weight, 1 gram weight, and a mass of 1 kilogram weight, 1 kilogram weight. So however, in a daily life and in commerce and industry, the distinction between gram and gram weight is generally omitted. So the percentage of water absorbed is equal to U minus V upon 50. So the initial minus final upon the total weight is into 100. Repeat the activity with different soil samples. Would you get the same result for all the samples? Discuss the result with your friend and answer the following question. Which soil would have the highest percolation rate? Which soil would have the lowest percolation rate? Bojo heard from his neighbor that Bojo heard from his neighbor that 8 to 10 days after the rain, the level of water in a pond or well rises. Which type of soil will allow water to reach a well faster and in greater amount? Which type of soil retain the highest amount of water and which retain the least? Can you suggest any method to let more rainwater percolate and reach the water underground? So 9.4 soil and crops. Different types of soil are found in different parts of India. In some there is clay soil, in some part there is loamy soil, while in some part there are sandy soil. So there are different types of soil all over India. Soil is affected by wind, rainwater, temperature, light and humidity. These are some of important climatic factors which affect the soil profile and bring changes in the soil structure. The climatic factor as well as the components of soil determine the various type of vegetation and crops that might grow in the region. So these determine which type of vegetation can be grown in there. Clay and loamy soil are both suitable for growing cereals like wheat and gram. So clay and loamy soil are most preferred by the farmers for growing cereals like wheat and gram. Such soils are good at retaining water. So they retain good amount of water. So they are used for paddy. Soil rich in clay and organic matters and having a good capacity to retain water are ideal. For lentils, masoor and other pulses, loamy soil is preferred, which drain water easily are required. For cotton, sandy loam or loam which drain water easily. Can hold plenty of air are more suitable. Crops such as wheat are grown in the fine clay soil because they are rich in humus and are very fertile. Find from your teacher, parent and farmers the type of soil and crops grown in your area. Enter the data in table 9.2. Which kind of soil would be most suitable for planting rice? Soil with higher or lower rate of percolation. So you can write it here, type of soil and crop grown. So you know that the rice need retaining water capacity. So a lower percolation is used. So you can see here there is a case study given here. John, Rashida and Radha went to Leeladhar Dada and Santosh Malviya of Sohagpur in Madhya Pradesh. Leeladhar Dada was preparing the soil to make items like surahi, matka, kalla, earthen frying pan, etc. The following is the conversation they all had with Leeladhar Dada. Where was the soil obtained from? Dada said, we brought the black soil from a piece of barren land. How is the soil prepared? Dada said, dry soil will be placed in a large tank and would be cleaned of pebble, etc. After removing this thing, the soil will be soaked for around 8 hours. So after removing these small particles, they are soaked in water for 8 hours. This soil would be needed after mixing horse dung. The needed soil would be placed on the wheel and given appropriate shape. The final shape is given with hand. The items are colored after 3 days of drying. All the items are baked at high temperature. So after coloring, they are dried after they are baked in high temperature after drying it in the air. Why is the horse dung mixed in soil? Dada said, burnt horse dung help open up the pores of the soil. So the dung help in opening the pores in the soil. So the water could percolate out of the matkas and surahis, evaporate and cool the water inside. You know, Sohagpuri, surahis and matkas are famous in far off places like Jabalpur, Nagpur, Prayagraj, etc. So you can see the pictures of the Dada. So they are making like this. In this the pots are made by rotating it. So here the finished product you can see. So there is a little bit about soil erosion is also given here. What is the difference between rate of percolation and the amount of water retained? Bujo, you seem to have forgotten what you read earlier. Go and reread the lesson again and you will find the answer. So the soil erosion is given here. The removal of land surface by water by wind or ice is known as erosion. So the removal of land surface is known as erosion by the factor like water, wind and air. Plants' roots firmly bind the soil. In the absence of plants, soil becomes loose. So the roots of the plant bind the soil together, but when there is no plants there, so soil becomes loose, so it can be moved by wind and flowing water. So when there is the soil is loose, they get away with the flowing water and the winds. Erosion of soil is more severe in areas of little or no surface vegetation. So the problem of erosion is more severe in areas where there is no vegetation, such as desert or bare land. So cutting of trees and deforestation should be prevented, and effort should be made to increase the green areas. So we should make uh, deforestation deforestation should be banned, and we should increase the plantation of more trees and plants. So we have learned soil is important for life on the earth. It is clear. Soil profile is a section through the different layer of soil. Various layers are called horizons. So we have seen the horizons. Soil is of different types: clay, loamy and sandy. Percolation rate of water is different in different types of soil. So we have learned that also. It is highest in the sandy soil and least in the clay soil. So in the sandy soil the percolation is very high, and in clay soil it is the least. Different types of soil are used to cultivate different types of crops. Clay and loam are suitable for growing wheat, gram and paddy. Cotton is grown in sandy loam soil. Soil hold water in it, which is called soil moisture. The capacity of a soil to hold water is important for various crops. So the capacity of soil determine which type of crop will the capacity of soil to hold water will determine which type of crops will be grown there. Clay soil is used to make pot, toys and statues. So clay soil is most preferred for making pots, toys and statues. So here the chapter 9 is finished.